So it's -12 outside according to the thermometer. I'm on the way to work, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about the world and what's going on. I'm going to go to vape right now because I lost 2 out of the 3 I have, and they can't seem to find them. Lola was sick and had a fever for the past 2 days, and so I was with her, and I'm like in a perpetual panic attack when Lola's sick. Like as panicky as I ever get. She's inconsolable when she's sick, and I just hate it. You know, I would much rather me be sick than her. And so it got me thinking a lot about how lucky we really have it. You know, it's -13. It just keeps dropping. I think my thermometer's having a hard time keeping up with the actual temperature. So my wife's co-worker Margie, to quit beating around the bush, I'm not gonna say her last name, but my wife's co-worker, her son and husband just had an altercation with their neighbor outside of their apartment building because they went to investigate stalling noises that they heard going on outside their apartment building. And as you can imagine, it's not proper to be stalling outside in an apartment building at night, you know. So a 15-year-old boy and his stepfather, they left and went out to investigate what was going on. And of course, you know, you would go investigate too. Anybody would. You hear sawing going outside your apartment. But what the heck's going on with that? Especially Minneapolis area. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on in Minneapolis, as you can imagine. So they went to investigate, and their neighbor, I guess their longtime neighbor, who, according to his father, has never had violent tendencies, but has been mentally ill. And we all know people who are allegedly mentally ill. Can you point to like something that's wrong with them that makes them mentally ill, right? Like, so they do an MRI and they can see like different parts of your brain that are firing up and are lighting up and all that, but it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense because there's no such thing as like a chemical imbalance. That's not a thing that exists. Like, your brain is made up of complex carbohydrates, water, spinal fluid, all this stuff. It is not imbalanced. There's not like a chemical soup up there that can be imbalanced one way or the other. Now, you can damage your receptors, like your dopamine receptors and your serotonin, all that, with extreme drug use, which you know, who's to say whether or not that fella had that done or not? But what happened is that they went outside and this man attacked the 15-year-old with a screwdriver and started stabbing him over and over. Stabbed the 15-year-old, I believe, upwards of 20 times. And then, when he attacked the 15-year-old, the stepfather, God bless him, he jumped in the action and he started fighting the guy off, pulling him off of his stepson. And what happens, the guy turns and starts attacking him. Well, the 15-year-old, he flees into the apartment, obviously, while his stepfather is tussling with the neighbor guy. And, well, God rest his soul, the stepfather lost his life. The man lost his life fighting. The guy stabbed him to death with a screwdriver. And yeah, let's take a moment and just think about that. A screwdriver. They're watching TV, minding their own business in their home, relaxing. In America, Middle America, Minneapolis, and just hanging out, chilling, and hey, what in the world's going on? Boom, screwdriver attack. So people, like, count your blessings. Count your blessings. Today is a good day. If you're around, if you're alive, if you're still breathing, if you don't have a screwdriver sticking out of you right now, like if you're sitting at home with your wife, you know, or something, like, I mean, what if let's say your wife snores. Is that really that big a deal? Like, you'll miss those snores if a screwdriver wielding maniac were to attack her. Like, let's say your son, you know, or your daughter, that they're teenagers and they don't pay you much attention no more. You feel like they don't have any respect for you. Let's just add a screwdriver wielding maniac into the equation, and all of these petty little problems go away. They go away. They become inconsequential to the equation, right? We've got it made. And people are perpetually put into a victim mentality. They're thinking that the world's out to get them. And in a way, it is out to get you, but no more so than any other day. Each day is evil enough unto itself, right? That's what it says in the Bible. Don't plan for weeks or months and years ahead of time, because you don't know what a day is going to bring, right? Everybody knows the old adage, man makes plans and God laughs, right? And that is so true. No plan has ever went exactly how it was supposed to. There's always things that change it, you know, that change the factors, and so you have to be able to adapt. You need to be adaptable. Always be ready in any situation for it to turn nasty. Right? That doesn't mean you need to be like black-pilled and like, oh man, everybody sucks and the world's horrible. Like, yeah, it kind of is a lot of times. The world does suck pretty bad. And like when you see stuff like Epstein Island not getting investigated and all these things, that's what they want. They want you to live in fear. They want you to be upset. Don't let them win. You don't need to be upset. You don't need to be scared. That man did exactly what he was supposed to. He went outside and he defended his child, and he lost his life. He died a hero. Now, where was everybody else in the apartment, right? Like, there's nothing anybody could have done, because when somebody snaps, there's nothing you can do except to be ever vigilant, ever ready. And if you can't fight somebody, you better be ready to flee. If you can't fight, then flee. You need to practice one or the other, right? Either become very efficient at running away, or very efficient at distracting somebody and then running away, or fighting them. You can't just be unprepared. Being unprepared isn't an option nowadays. You have to have a plan going out into the world, because there's so many nutcases. There's so many people who look normal. For all intents and purposes, they are normal. But they've got a secret. There's something going on. They've got some crazy ideology that they've been beaten into their head. Like, just be prepared, people, and count your blessings is really what I want to say, because I'm so blessed to have my wife, my health, and my children, and they're healthy, right? Like, people get cancer, people get sick, and like stuff happens that is out of people's hands, and It's out of people's hands, and there's nothing they can do about it. But you can prepare and be ready for the things you can handle, right? So like, you can't handle cancer. You can't like really prepare for cancer, except for eating right, taking care of yourself. But some things are just out of your hands. Genetics, illnesses, like you can get bitten by a tick, and become allergic to meat. Now, what's up with that? Being allergic to meat, it can change your DNA. Now, how did things like this come about, right? Because we all know that evolution is bullshit. There was no pond scum that got zapped by lightning, and these amino acids decided to join to form complex molecules, and then all of a sudden they became animated. Like, think about that. Like, what? Why? What would it eat? What would the first creature eat? Does it eat inanimate things to make them what? None of it makes any sense. You have to have a creator. You have to. Any complex mechanism requires and denotes a creator, right? If you found a Swiss Army watch in the desert, you wouldn't think, oh, this was made. This was just happened to be together, right? A human like finger is infinitely more complex than a freaking stopwatch. Infinitely more complex. And that's just a hand. Not to mention the whole body. So, like all of my talks end up coming back around to, it's God. And I'm about to get here to the vape store, so I'm going to wrap it up. But God bless that man for saving his stepson and for fighting and being a man. He died a hero. And please let your prayers be with Margie and her son. And, count your blessings and be happy, guys. Things are not that bad. We've got it made. We have got it made, and we don't even realize it, people. And we don't even realize it. Oh, so I'm David Rife. I sometimes call myself the reluctant witness because I'm reluctantly witnessing the end of the world. But I love you, and God bless.